Today I like to talk about of one simple topic, and the topic is it's possible to combine together electronics, futuristic things, and the classical idea to be in a Renaissance culture. Renaissance culture means it's possible to combine together something like a future and something like our incredible traditional cultures. Today I think it's an interesting day because we're talking a little bit about some details. And some details, they are connected with technologies. We are connected with this special new scientific life. We are connected with energetic devices, and we are connected with this new electronic life. Unfortunately, I'm born in another century, and I'm grow with one idea to be, intellectually speaking, connect with one simple, sophisticated idea in intellectually way and culturally way. If you like, it's a little bit provocative what I prepared for you today. Well, did you see? I prepared for you some images before. We grow with hands, and after that we transform hands in some tools, and after that we transform the tools in something a little bit more complicated, like in an industrial way. And after that we transform again with robots, electronics, control, qualities. We micromise everything. And then we jump in another future again. We start to print. We start to stop to use the classical issues, and we start to stop to use the classical things. And we start to print by ourselves what it was possible in our mind. The question is, and I like to be a little bit provocative, and if you like a little bit rhetoric, everything is correct? Many years ago, more or less 600 years ago, one person in the middle of the mid-age, the Italian mid-age, he says it's possible if you are a creative person. To be a creative person, you have to be a complex person. You have to be a complex figure. You have to be, you have to be very good in many different things. You have to be mathematic. You have to be scientist. You have to be doctor. You have to be worker. You have to be stupid sometimes. Why not? Stupidity, I think it's a good issue, and it's a good skill to be creative sometimes. Well, Vitruvius, think about, it's a strongly idea to be connected with one modern and one incredible modernity, to be inside in a Renaissance module. Renaissance module means you are, again, humanistic. I never believe in a super specialized people, because if we become super specialized, we are nearby to be like a T-Rex. Did you remember the most incredible machine? It was this unbelievable, huge animal, very well specialized. Something happened, and the T-Rex disappeared. Well, I use 6 different memos. Italo Calvino, it's an Italian writer, and he prepared 6 memos for the next millennium. And the 6 memos, they was connected first with leggerezza. Leggerezza, I like to use the Italian name, leggerezza, because it sounds a little bit more poetic, but if you like, we use the other one, lightness. Well, to be light, everything it's around of us is light. When we're thinking about the bridge, our idea, one bridge is not light, but when we're thinking about one piece, mechanical piece like the LEM, the lunar module, everybody thinks the lunar module is very easy and is very light. It's not true. Sometimes, the leggerezza, the lightness, it's a consciousness in our mind. It's not exactly what the weight it's inside. Well, Is more heavy the concrete system, or is more heavy the classical church from the 2nd century after the millennium? Well, when we're talking about a structure, when we're talking about of creativity, when we're talking about of the new structural calculation, we are to jump back a little bit inside in our past, in our tradition, and after that it's possible to be absolutely very innovative. Otherwise, innovation for innovation is for me only an empty word. I use one simple sample. 2 years ago, when our client, Kartell, they asked us to design a new chair, but the limits, it was not around of the shape, it was not around of the style, it was not around of something like this. The limit, it was one simple question. Is possible to use something completely new in a material, like a strange combination, is like holy water and devils together? Is possible to combine carbonium fiber, pounder or nylon, and something different to do a new superleggera, a new chair. The weight of the chair, it was fixed before to start to design the chair. You know, we fixed before some rules, and the rules, it was not more than 2 kilos. Well, not more than 2 kilos means you have to think in another way. You don't design something for style. You design something because the material is used in the best condition. You know, everything is become before in our mind. It was an intellectual project. I didn't design one shape. I didn't design one form. I designed something absolutely outstanding for using in a good way the material. Well, I showed to you quickly some other images. This house is completely built in concrete, but the concrete is like a origami. We use only 7 centimeter concrete. We expand the idea to be, structurally speaking, very extreme, and we mold in one piece, one house, 7 centimeter. Can you imagine? Everything has become very intelligent, because if we like to destroy the house, in more or less, the 85% of the old material is completely recyclable. And it's possible to design again after 25 years or after 30 years another house. Well, it's some sample about of our architecture and our idea to be modernist, but in the same time to respect. In Italy or in Europe, we live inside in old towns. The real problematic point is not to design again new buildings. The real problematic point is possible to save the old building and to give to them a new life. Give to them a new life means you have to do a renovation, you have to redesign the efficiency inside, and you have to put inside many different new material to give to them the new life. That is the point, not to redesign again with such a new egotic idea, new buildings. Sometimes in our countries, the big problem is we have to save old buildings and we have to survive with them, not to destroy them. Well, rapidità, inside in our life, in a digital life, sometimes it's very good to be rapido. Rapido means rapidity. Well, but it's not enough. Can you imagine? For many, many years in our consciousness to be rapid, it was Star Trek. Did you remember the guys inside in the special circular things? They knock and they disappear in another universe. Or for my generation, to be fast it was, and the rapidità, it was the Falcon Millennium, Star Wars. Again, Han Solo, the captain, it was sometime he tried, to move out and to disappear in another universe too. The machine sometimes it was not so functional, but anyway. Well, rapidità, that is a new one. Think about the devices. In the beginning of the 19th century, the rapidità, it was the rockets. The idea to design some rockets, but after 100 years, the real rapidità, the real-time machine, the real Star Trek, it's a device. It's a possibility to use many different information and to transform information in something different. Well, when we're talking about rapidità, and I like to discuss about of that, rapidità is connected with sometimes with creativity. But the creativity is not an empty word. Creativity is a strongly exercise. When we did one chair like that for Kartell, you know, in the end, one chair, it's a simple object, 4 legs, 1 back, and one surface for sitting on. I put inside one detail more than that. Normally, I design only uncomfortable pieces, and I'm worldwide recognized because I only design uncomfortable chairs. You know, it's more or less like it's like a signature. If you buy one chair designed by me, believe without know me, you understand immediately why I design a chair and why you are sitting on the top of one unbelievable, impossible, uncomfortable chair. Anyway, the chair, rapidità. Again, design a chair is quite easy. But the idea, it was not to design a chair, it was to design a new technology. The old chairs, more or less, it's molded in nylon reinforced with a bit of structure like, I don't know, fiberglass or something like this. And normally we put inside minimum, more or less, 7 kilos of material. Well, the idea it was to use the same shape, the same idea, but to take away nearby 2.5 kilos. And we mix-match together 2 different technologies. We mix-match one technology, it's molding nylon. Another one, we inflate one gas. The gas, it's a combination of azote and the other things. Well, anyway, when we discuss this idea with the engineers, I don't discuss with the normal engineer. I discuss the idea with a molecular engineer. We discuss about something like a DNA modification. And for the moment, in that moment, think about of the 3D printers, or think about of some new universe. We touch the molecular, we redesign the DNA of that material, and after that it was possible to combine together 2 different technologies. That is, I think, the futuristic idea to be inside in the next step. Well, not because I designed an uncomfortable chair, but because we combine together many different thoughts. Well, when we design architecture, again, that one it's in a long seaside nearby Dubai. Can you imagine we design one huge village and we control the whole village from Milano. We control with the remote system, we control with drone, we control with local engineer, unfortunately for us. I hate the engineers, because if you are a student in Milano, in a Polytechnic of Milano, and you are architect, the all scientific things you have to study with the engineers. Believe, I never forget. And I try to become, during my profession, a strongly nightmare for the all engineer worldwide. It's a good revenge. Anyway, think about, we design something like this. It's a super complicated creator, and in the end we control everything by the remote system. But we control the qualities, we control what happens inside in the concrete, we control what happens inside in the measurements. And after that, I jump again in another dimension. Many different scale. I design something like a molecular, and after that, I like to be a graphic designer. Because again, I like to live inside in this spatial field, or if you like boundaries, or if you like neighborhood in a culture. It's not enough to be very good in 3-dimensional things. It's not enough to design something bigger like a buildings. Sometimes I like to change again the scale. I like to work with 2 simple dimensions and to be again like, you know, the old men when they start to draw something on inside in a cavern. I like to become like that, a graphic designer. Well, to be fast, rapidità again, the future or our qualities when we're doing something like architecture is it's the idea to be precise. When we design, for example, one building like that, we design the building, in more or less we spend more than 2 years for designing the old buildings. And we built this building in Istanbul in nearby 10 months. We prepare everything before, we study everything before, we mantle and dismantle the old building outside, and after that, it was ready yet in 10 months. You know, with the waiters, with light, with the girls, and the all different stuff inside. Well, I don't talk about the stupidity or the intelligence inside in the building, because that one has become such a long, long discussion. Esattezza, exactitude. Exactitude, it's a little bit military word, you know. Can you imagine some lieutenant, they ask you to be exact, exactitude, esattezza. Everything is balanced. Everything is moving inside in a normal life with a lot of balancing things. Everything is symmetric. When we're thinking to do something asymmetric, in the end, some forces inside in a physical way, they combine and they control. For that reason, I like again to come back inside in two different simple measurements. Leonardo da Vinci, he designed the Man of Vitruvius. Inside in script, first in a square and after that in a circle. But the Nautilus, it's a natural example for the rhythm of the numbers. Many years ago, one mathematical guy in Italy, Mr. Fibonacci, he described the naturality qualities of the numbers. And the sequence of the number is named, I think in Italian that I try to translate, is named natural numbers. Well, the Nautilus naturally is grow without Mr. Fibonacci with the natural number sequence. That one for what? When you design something, you have to know what happened. For that reason, I'm a little bit provocative, because now everybody talk about of this new level of creativity. It's possible to do with the 3D printer something. It's possible to design with the super systems. It's possible to do something with electronics and informatics. It's not true. The old watches, for example, I did for Alessi. Design a watch is like a particular adventure. When I design a watch, first I have to open one dot. When I'm born, they expect me nearby for midnight, more or less. 6 hours and a half later, I decide to be in, not really in time, but I decide to come. In the end, I'm born 6 hours and a half later to the real time, the original one. That one, it was more or less the code or the topic qualities of my life. I never become in my life precise. I'm always late. If you fix with me, and for me, or somebody fix one appointment, for sure, I become late. If, I have to take a train, for sure, I have to take another train. If I'm moving to the airport, believe, more or less 50% of my time, I spend time in the airport because I lose the airplane. Well, can you imagine, Alessi, they asked me to design a watches. It looks like to ask the bandit to be a security or to do a security in a bank. Well, now I come back again to the movement. When we start to design these watches, the measurements inside, it was connected only with the engine. And the engine, it's such incredible layers of small things. And the measurements inside, it's connected with a millimesimal part of millimeter. millimesimal part of millimeter. Try to design something if you don't fix in your mind, if you don't see the measurements, becomes impossible. Otherwise, if you don't control the measurements, you design something for style. I'm a designer, I'm an architect, I'm not a stylist. And that one, it's again another provocative point. You know, to be stylist, to follow style, it's absolutely so easy, but it's unbelievably superficial. Because if you don't control the process before, everything is possible for everybody. And that is the differences. Well, we start, we design, we design, we design, we design, we design. In the end, I remember I received one calling from Japan because the engineers, they was in Japan, and they asked me, Piero, did you know we have to remodeling the body of the watch? You have to cut 2 mu. Okay, it's not a cow question. Mu, it's 1 millimeter part of 1 millimesimal part of millimeter. And they asked me to cut 2 millimesimal part of millimeter. It's like got distances, it's like got measurements. For 1 year, we didn't remodeling the watch. We stopped the project because in my mind, in the mind of my group of designers, we didn't find the measure. And we didn't find a proportion, and we stopped the project for 2 millimesimal part of millimeter. But after that, we try. Well, when we design graphic, again, I'm coming back to be a prehistorical man, it's full of rules. One font is not a simple sign on the paper, it's not a simple sign on the tablet with your electronic pen. It's full of rules, proportion, dimension, distances. It's a mathematical and geometrical point. Think about, okay, another toy. I tell you, I'm an architect and I'm a Renaissance man. One poor victim, he asked me to design a boat. It's a small toy. It's 142 feet. Or if you like, it's 36 meters and a half. To be honest, I prefer the decimal system. Can you imagine, you know, in 2015, it's possible to divide in 10. 1 centimeter you divide in 10, it's become 1 millimeter. 1 centimeter you multiply in 10, it's become a decimeter, 100, 1 meter, more, 1 kilometer, and blah, blah, blah. In the Anglo-Saxon measure, you start like a prehistorical things. 1 eyes, 1 finger, 1 foot, 1 piece, you know. Can you imagine the measurement? 142 feet. Come on, 36 meters and a half. Well, the toy, it was completely built in carbonium. It's like a Formula One, but it's not a Formula One. It's a floating dynamic house. Well, when we design things like that, you have to change again proportion, you have to change again measurements, you have to be precise. Otherwise, can you imagine, you put in the water one object like that and it's going down. Or they do during the regatta, during the race, and it's so slowly. Can you imagine the bad attitude if you buy or you pay one object like that? We designed another one because after the first, you know, you are like a assassin. You come back. You are like a murderer, you know. You come back to the place where you kill somebody else. Well, we designed the second one, but that one is a motorboat. It's nearby 55 meters. And again, we redesigned everything. We designed the body, we designed the technology, we designed the surfaces, and we designed the interior. But it's not enough. To be exact, sometimes I like to play a little bit around of my work. And I tell you before, I like to be a little bit a nightmare for the engineers. Well, I designed one stair. In the end, one stair is a stair. For everybody, one stair is a simple place for moving from one place, one floor to another one. For me, the stairs, they are like a space in between. Did you remember, it was a very, very famous, I don't know, I think worldwide, it was Twilight Zone. It was a black and white TV transmission, and it was a stories in between. It was like a science fiction story, very well known in the 60s and in the 70s. Okay, I'm probably too much older for that. Don't worry. Anyway, I like to design stairs. And when I designed this stair, before I did a calculation, because I was a very good victim for the engineer, but after that I asked one engineer to do again another calculation. And we discussed about of mathematics against mathematics. The stair is there, and the people, they go up and down. I tell you before, I like to respect what happened. In Europe, we redesigned completely one old building. It's in Amsterdam. We add inside in a building, old building, a completely new technological building, but we put inside something completely new. But in the same time, we respect what's happening with the old one. Visibility. Our work, it's a communication work. It's not only enough to design something, it's not enough to be a good architect, it's not enough sometimes to be a good communicator. You have to respect another level, visibility. Dan Flavin, it's a possible artist connected with the visibility, or the invisible man. It's another level of invisibility. Sometimes to be visible, it's like a chant. Sometimes it's possible to do something without, or sometimes it's possible to be a little bit more exaggerate. Well, when we design something, we try to minimize our visibility. One sample, we design one simple table, but for design a table, we follow one extreme use of technologies. Because the old table, the section of the table, is 2 centimeters for 2 centimeters. But the length of the table is 1 meter and 80 for 1 meter and 80. And we use one aeronautical system for retransform one glass like a piece of metal. That's it's a visibility, not to be baroque, not to put inside a lot of words, not to put inside a lot of noise. Well, that one, it's a special project for Nespresso. We retransform the cups of the coffee cups in a huge pixel, and we use the huge pixel to redesign with an Nespresso fake electronic cups a huge screen all around the world. Another level of visibility when we present something like this one is a temporary show, or another level of visibility is when we design architecture. We like simple architecture with a bit of signage inside, not too much. It's again another project. When we design something, again, we are connected with the sense of our work. One sample, that one, it's completely built in concrete with the carbonium fiber beams inside. The length, it's quite impressive because it's more than 50 meters. But we don't use inside any system. We don't have any pillars. We don't have any structure. You don't see nothing. Everything is balanced and everything is suspended. Can you imagine again the face of our engineers? Well, another project again, I don't like to be boring with you. Molteplicità. Industrial design means we work for industries. When you work for industries, you have to think of multiplicity. Otherwise, we become come si chiamano? Artigiani? Craftsmen, sorry. All of these products, it's our design product, some of them. All of them, they are industrial pieces. All of them, we did for industries, for not a mass production, but for industries. When we design something, we think first about which kind of possibilities for production, which kind of industrialization we use, which kind of technologies is possible to improve, which kind of treatment, which kind of material. Well, that is multiplicity. It's not enough to be romantic and design something because I like to design something for myself. I work in a worldwide market and think I'm quite a serious entrepreneur for that. But I'm a responsible person. When I'm working for factories, they don't meaning on my mind royalties and money and something like this. Factories, they are incredible, complex creator with many people inside, with dreams, with families, with possibilities. If I become too much egoistic, egotic, and in the same time not responsible, of course I design something for myself, but I don't design something for this special, great, and interesting and delicate community. The old things they are to do on my mind to be produced only because they are inside in one special boundary, and in the same time because they are responsible. The piece is not me. Well, think about of that. 4 chairs. All of them, they was produced before by handcraft. Somebody very delicate. They trade for me the prototypes. They built one by one prototypes. But after that, one robot, some machinery, some high technology things, they become to do that. But before and before again, we did many prototypes with a human sensibility, with a human eyes, with a human touch. Without that, what is possible to do? That one is another chair for Kartell. It's completely built in aluminum. We designed this chair more or less in the beginning of 2007, nearby. 2007, we prepared the first prototype. But we don't achieve the correct qualities of technologies. It was possible to produce, but the cost, it was absolutely unbelievable high. I'm thinking to do something for the mass productive and mass production piece. Well, we're waiting more or less 5 years, and we start again 5 years later, 2011. The owner of Kartell, he prepared the new line of robots. He bought 6 different robots. And after that, we start to do a new prototypes. But when I'm talking about robots, I'm talking about of human intelligence before or behind. We design robots, we design the technology, we design the chair. Some handcraft people, they do for 2 years prototypes, mold, and blah, blah, blah. We define the old technologies, and after that, we did. Now, they mold this chair nearby 100,000 pieces every year, more or less. Again, another system. I tell you, I like to be prehistoric. But all of them, they are such incredible physical and mathematical and geometric absurdity. To design something like that, you have to be a little bit absurd. You have to follow, for example, Escher. Did you remember the guy from Holland who did incredible drawings with a strange fake perspective? Well, sometimes our stairs, they look like exactly like that. They are mathematical fake. They are structurally fake, but in the end, they survive. Coerenza. Sometimes to be consistency is the trick, because for everybody now, our life, it's too much glitter. Can you imagine a lot of people, they ask me if in my life I design something for the parties. Can you imagine such a stupid question? If I design something for the parties, for the girls, for the sparkling wine, for the photo shooting, for the cover, that one, it's absolutely such a dramatic collateral effect. First, we are workers. We are workers. We work very hard every day. We discover, we study, we start again, we destroy, we start again. That is the secret. And the consistency, the coherenza and consistency, it's the real phase. To be coherent or consistency, it means when you start to design something for one factory, first you have to know the factory. You have to jump inside in the soul of the factory. You have to jump inside in the body of the factory. You have to know in which way the pressure of the blood moving inside, what is possible to do, what is not possible to do. Otherwise, again, we come back again and we talk about of style. But to be coherent means sometimes you have to be anarchist. You have to be a little bit revolutionary. You are not to be equal. You have to start to discuss, and you have to be absurd. Otherwise, you become boring and super boring, and in the end you try to do something, but you copy again. I show to you some projects. That one is a project designed for Cotto. Can you imagine two different brains? One is based in Thai. It's a Thai brain. Another one is based in Milano. Okay, our risotto is better than the Thai risotto, to be honest. Our rice is fantastic. The Thai rice is comme ci comme ça. Can you imagine the combination? The coins, it was not easy to combine together two different cultures. But in the same time, it was possible to do because otherwise it's impossible to design or to produce anything. Well, now I go quickly. We discuss for more than 1 year only to found a common language. We discuss about topics, but we discuss about our grammar. And after that, we start to design something together. And they start to design something for us. And they start to say more or less every day, no. We ask them, is possible to do that? No. But would you think it's possible to remodel in the other one? No. In the end, one no after 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 one no, the whole collection is bored. Because we was, both of us, very coherent. Okay, some presentation, that is in Milano. I don't like to be, too much. First, because the Cotto is the sponsor of that, and I don't like to... Did you see the whole project? The whole tri-dimensional project. We design everything. We design pieces, we design the industrial process, we follow the common idea of that. We design the presentation, we design the atmosphere, we design the photography, and we design the graphic. That is the consistency. Well, another sample. Many years ago, not too much, I designed one coffee machine. Of course, for one Italian designer, design a coffee machine is like, to singing in La Scala. I'm not good enough for that. And when I designed the coffee machine, in my mind, design a coffee machine, it was a dream. Unfortunately, I designed a completely wrong coffee machine. The first coffee machine, it's on the bottom. For me, it was the most beautiful coffee machine in the world. Unfortunately, we did the first prototype, and the great scientist inside in Alessi, when he saw the first prototype, he says to me, Piero, for sure, we're doing one of the most disgusting coffee in the world. I look at him and I think, okay, this guy is old, it's so traditional. The coffee machine is so beautiful, for sure. We're doing it one of the best coffee in the world. It was not disgusting. It was more than disgusting. It was repellent. And we start to remodeling again the all different stuff. And we start the first, the second, the third, the fourth. Well, again, hands. I only forgot one simple detail. The secret inside in a coffee machine, it's a combination. Volume, pressure, qualities of the special steam, and dimension for the filter and the pounder. Like a designer, I was so arrogant, and I decided to design something for myself, not for the coffee. In the end, after 6 different prototypes, and believe, the first it was disgusting, the second it was more than disgusting, the third prototype he did one horrible coffee, the fourth it was become comme ci comme ça, the fifth it was more or less like coffee. After that, the sixth he did coffee. Not so bad, not so fantastic, but not so bad. In the end, production. Coerenza. We did one important exhibition in Milano in one of the most traditional museums in town, Palazzo Reale. Palazzo Reale, it was built in the 17th century for a king, of course. And now, luckily, we transformed the king house in a museum. And they asked me to design one exhibition for one Renaissance painter from all over the world. They was back for the first time in town, at home, 255 different paintings. And we designed the exhibition. Design the exhibition is not to hanging on the wall paintings or something. Design the exhibition, we study everything before. We study the qualities of the light. We study the logistic inside. We study the timeless for one painting to the other one. Well, it was the real consistency. And that is the result. We designed the light, and Flos, luckily, they designed the light for me. And one company in Korea, they prepared for us a special LED, because the old paintings, it was possible to use only one controlled qualities of light. And we did lamps for them, LED, special bulbs for them, and the old presentation. And after that, we switch the light. Well, it's the same to be coherent when we design, for example, the old shops worldwide for one client. That one is Boffi. Worldwide, we designed everything. I'm an art director for the company, I'm designer for the company, I'm architect for the company, and in the end, graphic designer, and I designed the old shops. That one is the last one. More or less, we are so serious. More or less, we are so arrogant. More or less, we are quite convinced to be sitting nearby God. The day when he started to found the earth, the 7th day he decided to choose us like the great intelligent people on the world. It's not true. Stupidità, foolishness. Think about such incredible mistake. We did unbelievable mistake. Like an architect, we destroyed the town. Like a designer, we invent such stupid things. Did you see the Wenger? Is the special Swiss Army things. Is possible to do something like this? Is stupid? It's totally idiot. Well, somebody did. Sometimes we think to be simple, we think to be natural, we think to do something absolutely so intelligent. For cut or for drinking one egg, you have to prepare this strange, complicated machine. Or sometimes we prepare like a masochistic coffee machine. I tell you before, 6 times, 6 different machines, 2 years. And I taste such a horrible thing. Okay, another story. Stupidity. Well, I'm stupid. I'm super stupid. Same victim, Flos. Piero Gandini asked me, the name of the owner of the Flos is Piero Gandini. I'm Piero too. And one day, Piero is coming with this new LED. It's a super high-powered LED. And I convinced him, okay, Piero, for use this LED, we have only one problem, temperature. If you don't control very well the temperature, the LED, it's inexistent machine. Well, I designed one lamp with the water things inside. Can you imagine the stupidity? It's like a car. I put one lamp on the top, And I use the special water with the pump, with the movement. I refresh in the water. In the end, more or less function, but can you imagine the stupidity? But Piero, it was more stupid than me because he followed me. In the end, we combined together two different levels of stupidity. The own factory and the design brain. Another level of stupidity. Piero, again the same, asked me, I like if you use this special fiber to design a lamp. And I suggest to him, okay, I designed the lamp, but I like to design one lamp without light. And I did. The first one, blue. If you move inside in a room, you see this special blue moon inside. I think it's so poetic. In my mind, it was such an incredible poetic project. You don't use the classical light. You open the door, and you see this beautiful blue moon. But after that, you have to buy another lamp, because if you like to, I don't know, if you like to say hello to somebody else in the room, you have to switch another lamp. Not stupid, more than stupid. Well, luckily, Piero, it was not stupid enough, and he says, okay, one version is blue, but we put inside one small LED. If somebody likes to switch and to see what happened inside in the room, we offer a possibility. But I was not completely convinced. Graphic designer, that one, it's four different samples of super stupidity. But I was stupid. The old clients, they follow me, and I share the stupidity. 50% it was my stupidity, 50% they are their stupidity, because they follow me and they understand, and they didn't understand. The first one, beautiful interactive invitation. I put inside a small battery, one small LED, one beautiful piece of plastic with the whole information written inside. For reading the information, it was enough to press the button on the top of the battery, and the whole graphic becomes. Ideally function. Think about 5,000 invitations. Put inside 5,000 invitations in a huge envelope. Put one envelope on top of the other one. After 10 envelopes inside in a box, the stupid batteries start to function. You move to the post office with one box, 100 envelopes inside. 97 of them, they start to function. And after 2 hours, the battery is gone. We send worldwide the invitation. 5,000 victims, they open the envelope, they look in this one and they, what these stupid things. In studio, 15 people, they start to call for a week. Hi, good morning, we invite you officially for the opening for the Boffi shop in Milano until 17 of April 2000 something. Okay, first sample. Second one, again the same client. I tell to them, it's a great idea. We print one special LP with 45 different languages, and we invite 45 different ethnic tributes from England till Patagonia, the proper language. Fantastic. Nobody use. In electronic time, with the new devices, with the old CD, we are thinking to print an old LP. 15 people, hi, good morning, how are you? We invite you. Mm-hmm. Third, we show in Milano in a special exhibition the new collection of bathroom and kitchen, again for the same client. I tell you, they were stupid. I was stupid, but it was particularly stupid. I put together water and fire. Quite easy, very simple, very interactive. Fire for the kitchen and water for the bathroom. Can you imagine the envelope? Again, 20 centimeter for 20 centimeter, one special match inside, and on the other side, one part of the blue water. Can you imagine the stupid people inside in a box office, inside in a post office, inside in a box with a bong? Well, when we was lucky, they destroyed the water tank. When we was not lucky, bong, and it's flamed, and they burn everything. Okay, threw away 15 people. Hi, good morning, we are. Last one, I tell you, I like to be stupid, but I like when my clients, they are more stupid than me. But in that way, they changed something in the last minute, and they saved my life for sure, but their lives for sure too. I suggest to the owner of Boffi, Mr. Roberto Gavazzi, Roberto, I have a fantastic idea. We put our invitation inside in a can with anchovies and oil. Can you imagine? I don't know. Anyway, anchovies and oil in Europe is very, very, now it's become a super sophisticated food. Before it was very poor, now it's super, super sophisticated. And in my mind, completely crazy mind, I was in of imagination. The people, they open the can, they look inside this special piece of paper with inside an oil, and they're reading the invitation, and after that they took away the paper with a finger, of course, stinking like the hell, and the oil is dropping on the surface of the table or somewhere else, and they eat the fish inside. For me, it was such a poetic way. Luckily, Roberto asked, he saw the first prototype and he asked me, Piero, are you totally idiot? What is that? Can you imagine they thinking the oil it's ugly, and the fish inside, and the paper and the ink? Okay, change. It's okay to use the can, but empty, without fish. And they put inside this paper fish, but it's not poetic like before. In some time you have to be extreme. If you jump inside in this special mood to be stupid, you have to be extremely stupid. Otherwise, if you stay in the middle, you're only one stupid in the middle of 1 billions of stupid. It's not enough. One of the last sample, some times ago, one client, he asked me, Piero, I like to live in a cozy house. I like to live in a cozy house. I like to live in a little bit in a chicy, shabby, cozy, not cool, not white, not transparent. Ta-dam! It's not white, it's whitish. Everything is white. That one I'm very proud. For that one I'm super proud. Some years ago, one famous company, European company, they do this, did you see on the left side? No, right side? Yes, right side, this special lamp. The low energy lamp. I think is one of the most, or if you like, is one of the biggest mistake in the world. The energy lamp is a completely fake solution of the problem. First, they are horrible, ugly, terrifically designed in a bad way. And second one, if you don't use in a correctly way, they lose incredibly quantities of energy. Well, they asked me to design a new series, and it was not possible for me to say to them, no, I don't like to design the lamp for you. It's a huge, giant company. And I decided to design something a little bit particular for achieve from them, okay, thank you, Mr. Lissoni, but probably the design is not good enough for us. And I designed 3 different solutions. Of course, they reject. they escape from the studio like, they disappear. When I show to them the project, after 3 seconds, they was out of the courtyard. 3 seconds later, they was on the taxi. 6 minutes later, they was in Linate airport. And for me, it was such incredible success, Can you imagine you put inside something like Pinocchio or like Mickey Mouse? Fantastico. Anyway, that's it. Finito.
Do you believe that stupidity can extend our creative boundary?
Oh, yes, of course. If you are not stupid, it's impossible to do something creative. Okay, now I become a little bit more serious. If you stay inside in the limits, everything is possible. Sometimes you have to move a little bit outside. And moving outside of the limits, it means you have to be a little bit stupid because you have to change your vision every day. You have to change your boundaries every day. And sometimes it's not enough to design something around the style, but you have to change a little bit. And of course, the risk is to become a little bit more stupid, but it's a good risk, And believe, luckily I'm not alone. When I try to be really stupid, I'm full of stupid around me. I like the idea. It's good. Anyway, it's possible.
Can you give an example of something stupid that actually has succeeded in the past?
I showed to you a lot of, I showed to you before a lot of stupidity, but I like to use stupidity because I don't like to be arrogant, and I don't like to be self-consciousness too much. When you try to move the limit, you jump inside in a new territories, you don't know what happened. When you try to use a new material, when you try to combine together many different technologies, when you try to use human sources and machine sources, and you combine together, well, the risk sometimes is to choose something stupid. But I like to follow this level of foolishness, creative foolishness. I don't like to be completely stupid, because one, it's on my eyes positive, the other one, it's only stupid.
Someone said less is more, but before you are less, you have to do more, more, and more. Is it true?
I like less is more. But somebody in Italy, they says many years ago during the postmodernism movement, they're talking about of less is more. And somebody else in the United States, during the end of the 80s, he says less it's enough. Less is more, I think it's anyway a good sample. Because less is more, if you think about outside of the sentence, less is more is a strongly exercise. To follow less is more, it means our process has to be so complex, full of complexity. It has to be full of informations, full of different thoughts. And after that, you have to be brave enough to clean, took away, clean, took away, clean, took away, and after that, it's become less. But if you use less because it's easy, it's become immediately boring and it's become immediately banal. But if you use less, because less is the public face of complexity, that is the secret.
So do you think there is a special emotional connection between people and handcrafted products that cannot be replaced by other products?
Think about, it's possible to survive in a normal life with one antique porcelain pot done by one man 300 years ago, or it's possible to survive with one beautiful ceramic pot done by one robot. Why not? Or one special 3D printer. if you put inside something intelligent, both of them, they are interesting. I don't like now the typology in a discussion now in worldwide, and I open friendly a debate around of that. Now it's possible to use devices and new technologies for do by ourselves some product or for design something and to produce something else. It's a possibility, but it's not the only possibility. That's it. When you are working with the factories, or working with one person, one uncraft people, it's a discussion with me and him. Can you imagine if I'm talking with a printer machine? It's like, the magic mirror. I am the most beautiful queen in the world. And the other one says, no. White snow is better than you. Well, I like this contradictory time. And I like to be inside in that. Probably I'm old. I'm growing in another century. I'm born in another century. And I use some other topics around of that. But I believe it's possible to do something in a super electronic way with a new high level of technologies, but at the same time, without the discussion, without the feedback, without this possibility to be in the middle, I think it's not possible to do something for me. I don't know for somebody else, but for me it is. Is correct the answer?